house always wins: gambling, addiction, and the selling of risk. The blinking lights, a rainbow of greed. The spinning wheels, a kaleidoscope of delusion. The sound of chips clinking like music for the desperate. Gambling is no longer confined to back rooms and Vegas halls. It's in your pocket, during halftime, in your friend group chat, a thing for casual conversation. But what happens when a game becomes a compulsion? When chance hijacks your chemistry? When it isn't a choice anymore? This is a story about how gambling has crept into our mainstream, how it exploits our psychology, and how I listen to 18-year-olds talk about parlays and odds the same way kids used to talk about sneakers and music. Gambling addiction isn't new. In The Gambler, Fyodor Dostoevsky doesn't just describe roulette, he practically bleeds on the page. I quote, "That, of course, was a proper moment for me to have departed, but there arose in me a strange sensation, as of a challenge to fate, as if I wished to deal her a blow on the cheek, and to put out my tongue at her. Accordingly, I set down the largest stake allowed by the rules, namely 4,000 gulden, and lost. Fired by this mishap, I pulled out all the money left to me, staked it all on the same venture, and again lost. Then I rose from the table, feeling as though I were stupefied." Dostoevsky knew the high of a win and the bottomless pit of loss. He wrote this novel in a frenzy to pay off gambling debts, and in it, we see the mental gymnastics of the addict. Hope masquerading as strategy, despair dressed in silk. It's not just Dostoevsky. In Jim Thompson's The Grifters, or the movie Owning Mahoney, the addict is not just a character, he's a mirror, a warning. These stories aren't glamorous, they're slow implosions, romances with risks that end in ruin. The house always wins, as we know so well. Casinos weren't designed for fun. They're basically labs. Behavioral science, you are their guinea pigs if you enter, and they extract as much money from you as they can. They say, "Take a look around, piggy." There are no clocks, no windows, no exits in sight. Every design element pushes you to stay a little longer, risk a bit more. Variable rewards, you don't know when the win will come, are the most addictive stimulus patterns known to our psychology. It's the same logic behind slot machines, loot boxes, and TikTok's endless scroll. Every spin, every hand, every bet is engineered to trigger dopamine and override logic. Remember, our brains can be our greatest enemy, as well as our greatest asset. And when the money's gone, you're not offered an exit, you're offered credit. To stay longer, to drive you deeper in the hole, to bury you alive. If the casino was a destination, gambling today is ambient. FanDuel, DraftKings, BetMGM. These names don't feel like gambling houses. They feel like fantasy leagues and apps. In The Sopranos, if you watched it, you remember one of Tony's friends, Davey, who had a gambling addiction that slowly led to him losing his business? That doesn't do it justice, honestly. It was like he was being eaten alive by predators. And that's what gambling is. It's the mafia. But now they are legit. Now they're using signs on us. It's not just gambling. What used to be a side hustle for mobsters is now plastered on ESPN and front row jerseys. During the 2023 Super Bowl, sports betting ads outnumber beer commercials. So now gambling has taken over alcoholism. Think about that. Kids don't want to play ball anymore. They want to hit on a long shot. Gambling isn't on the fringe. It is the culture. My experience and what brought up this video for me. I teach college, and over the past year, I've overheard students, mostly boys barely 18, talking about the odds for the Lakers to cover the spread. They don't go to the casino. The casino came to them through their phones, which they have a hard time putting down even despite my rules. In every ad, on every platform, even on Twitch and YouTube. Gambling isn't sold as risk, it's sold as a lifestyle. Do you want to be a risk taker? Do you want to be a go-getter? Do you want to make that money, make that bread? But it's really all the setup to rob the youth. So what do we do with this? We start by acknowledging that addiction wears a suit now. A lab coat. That the casino has rebranded itself with tech startup swagger. We start teaching kids the same way we teach them about drugs and alcohol. That the rush isn't worth the ruin. And we push for real regulations. The UK has started to crack down on gambling ads and loot boxes. Why hasn't the US? We can take a guess why. Gambling is no longer a vice. It's a business model. And the house doesn't always win because it's lucky. It wins because it built the house and will rip yours from under your feet. I don't care if you bet $5 for fun, but when 18-year-olds are talking about 3-team parlays like it's stock trading, we are going to be in trouble. The game has changed, and so should our response. Because the next generation isn't just gambling with their money. They're gambling with the future.